welcome back. Recovery Drive returns for another week after taking a break because we had a quick break in the race season. But we finished up at Suzuka for season 4 last week. I'm joined this week. My name is Adam Thursby. Welcome to everyone watching. I'm joined this week by Adam Willie, who just
Excuse me. Hello.
did something with his Mountain Dew. I'm not sure what that was, but I hope you all were entertained by it. We're also joined by Mr. Retro Coffin Rodriguez himself. He's here. And for the first time joining us, Mr. Rick Pixel, the man, the myth, the legend. And we're going to start going over some craziness right here. And I'm very happy this week because season 4 has ended, right? We're going to talk about, before we get into what's going to happen this weekend, we're going to talk about season 4 and the finale of Suzuka and where the standings landed for the end of that season. And we've got 2 podium sitters with us on the show tonight. So, and Pixel just subscribed for tier 1 for his 4th month. So thank you for that, sir. Much appreciated for the channel. It does help us out as we try and, run servers, everything else. So that is very much appreciated. I will thank you myself right here live. So again, thank you for that. So let's get kicked off. So let me ask you guys first. And Rodriguez, I know this is gonna be a little hard for you to participate in. You didn't race in season 4, but let's talk about Suzuka for just a moment. How did you guys feel about your races this past weekend?
They're really only Pixel.
Yeah, that's true. I completely forgot you didn't. Yeah, it is because Adam didn't participate this week.
Oh yeah,
he was traveling and unable to participate. So, Pixel, how did you feel about your race this week? How do you feel your results were? How do you feel about Suzuka in general? We can talk about that too, and discuss with everybody. What do you feel about Suzuka as a track? Do you enjoy it? Do you not enjoy it? Maybe, for all I know, Willie decided, you know what, this was the weekend to move. This was the weekend to go traveling because I don't want to be on Suzuka.
I mean, I'm not the biggest fan of Suzuka. Let's just put that straight right there. And then I caught wind that we were merging all 4 groups together. So the pros, the silvers,
yes, we did.
And I whinged like hell. I'm just like that. This could scupper my chances. We all know pros and silvers. I mean, not so much now.
Mm-hmm.
Have accidents. So I was kind of like, what if this scuppers my chances? But I had to suck it up and man up and stop crying about it. And it was actually really fun. It was really good fun having everybody together.
I think it went well, right? Am I wrong in that? I mean, obviously, like any race, there were incidents. There were people running each other off the track, and we saw some grief and aggravation in the first lap with a few things. But overall, having 4 classes on track with such a spread of times, I think it went really well, to be honest. I didn't think there was a ton of issue with having that many different classes and that much delta between the drivers on track at one time.
If it was the original starting field, like at the beginning of the season, that would have been a completely different ball game. But yeah, because obviously it's so short. And what do we have, 30, 20?
I think we had 27, 28 drivers on track at the same time. Yeah.
It was perfect. And I actually really enjoyed racing against the pros and the silvers and competing against them for once. And there was John Gray was behind me at one point, and I know it's not my race. He's in a different thing, but I was defending. I was never going to let him by. You know what I mean? I wanted to see what I could do against him, basically, ready for next season.
Awesome. That sounds good. Willie, now, again, you weren't able to make the race this past weekend, but overall, number 1, how do you feel about Suzuka? And number 2, given that you did participate throughout the entirety of this season, how would you have felt being on track with all 4 classes at the same time? Is there an intimidation factor there? Because you're an AM driver right now. I think that's going to change, but you are an AM driver, and we'll talk about standings here in a few moments. But would have being on track with those pros and silvers been a little intimidating?
I'd say probably not, because they would have left me in the dust. So
okay. But you don't get nervous about being the blue flag, being the back marker, trying to convey what you're going to do to let them by? I personally, I've always found that very difficult because you and I, because I've raced with you and I racing. I'll let you by, but you're going to have to give me half a second to feel comfortable where I'm in a position on the track where I can just let you do that. Right.
Yes.
And I fear, I guess my nervousness would come from, again, having raced with you. I know you're reading the room, and that you're going to give me the opportunity to let you buy at the right time. I think I would be very nervous in this situation that I wouldn't know that those pro and silver drivers, who I'm nowhere near as fast as, are going to give me that opportunity. They're going to be pressuring me, and it's going to screw up my race, or worse yet, I'm going to screw up theirs because I'm going to make a mistake that's going to cost them space, right?
Yeah. Well, with being, and I've been in the position as a blue flag before, so it's not that bad in my opinion.
Mm-hmm.
But if there's, say, two people like right behind you lapping you, yeah, you don't want to ruin either one of their race. And so you do want to try and get out of their way as quickly as possible in a safe place.
Yeah. I just think the four classes together, I think, worked really well. But I could understand why, if there was some nervousness on track from the AM, especially the AM, and even the Pro-Am drivers, to be a little concerned about what could happen there. Rodriguez, have you ever been in a race that was that many classes together, or that far of a delta between the top end and the bottom end?
Yeah, and you just try to like keep track of who's ahead of you and who's behind you.
Mhm.
Like they've said, like you don't want to ruin somebody's race, especially if they're out of your class and you see them fighting. It's like you just let them by. Coming up on somebody, yeah, you're just playing it safe. Let me through, buddy. You're just yelling at your screen. Okay.
Yeah. And the funny thing is, I remember, and I don't know who the drivers were, but at one point during that race at Suzuka, there were two AM or Pro-Am drivers having a battle. And a pro class driver came up behind them looking for the blue flag, right? And it's like, I even said it on stream. I'm like, no, you know what? At this point, you need to mind your business and let these guys have their battle. You know what I'm saying? Like, they need to have their battle, and you don't get to just automatically get around while they're in the middle of trying to decide position. So that's where that gets very confusing with so many classes on track at the same time. But let's jump over real quick. We are going to talk about where the standings landed. AM class is up first. So this is for the entire season. And you can see the positions for Suzuka. Again, Adam Willey unable to participate, but still finished on podium for season 4, his first season with Box 3 Motorsports. Bruce Hopkins takes the gold. Tristan Jonendijk takes second. And again, Adam Willey right there in third for this season of Box 3 Motorsports PC ACC Racing. 314 points back to 275, and then 221 for Adam Willey. Adam, what do you think about your season overall, man?
Honestly, I think me and Tristan could have had one hell of a end to the season. I think that we could have been fighting for second if I didn't take that trip.
Gotcha. Yep.
But other than that, great standings.
100%. And looking at your results, I mean, there was obviously constant improvement during the season. You came in 5th, 8th, and then from there, 2-1, 4-2. Yeah, I really think you were up there in contention. I mean, the only place where Tristan really hammered you was at the beginning of the season with better results starting out, and a little more consistency up front. But you brought that consistency throughout the season and got better as you went. So looking at the AM class, and we can talk about Zwanenberg as well, and even Kenny O'Connor there in 5th, and we'll get to the top 10 here in a moment. But looking at these top 5 on your screen right now, who's moving to Pro-Am next season?
It's got to be P1. It's got to be Hopkins.
Sitting here right now looking at this, I'm telling you right now, 1, 2, and 3 should all go to Pro-Am.
I was going to say the top 3. I think. Adam, you've definitely got the pace. It is consistency. That's which you've shown. You're more consistent throughout the season.
I mean, if you got a win or more than 2 podiums, you're going up.
That's what I'm saying. Like that's what I'm seeing here is 1, 2, and 3 had wins, had consistent podiums, right? Like, let's bump them.
And I'll say this: race 1 at Coda was my first actual race in ACC, in any type of ACC. So going from that to P1, P4, P2. I'm getting used to, the Aston Martin, the physics, everything about ACC. So I think season 5 I could do better.
100%. And just so you know, it will not be season 5.
Well, season 1, it's season 5 to me, all right?
It'll be season 1 of 2023. We've already had that conversation to split them up. I don't want to get to a point where we're in season 35. But
Come on.
that has no
You
meaning.
can
Like,
do 'em- you gotta do them like Super Bowl. So like season
Yeah.
1XX
yeah, there you go.
WrestleMania,
Start
whatever.
using Roman
UFC.
numerals.
You're good.
Awesome. Well, let's again while we're here, again, Bruce Hopkins, Tristan Yonendijk, and Adam Willey taking the podium for this season. Michael Zwanenberg, Kenny O'Connor in your top 5. Alex Martin, Tom Grantham, Michael Kazubski, and Lee Melvin disqualified for this season for not finishing 3 races. So that'll bump Chief Blaze up to P9 with Joseph Huerta. Again, everybody else DQ'd in the AM class. I didn't realize it was DQ'd all the way down. We lost Frank Reynolds during the season. The Warthog himself stopped racing for some reason after one race this season 4. But I think a good run for our AM class drivers, and we'll see how it picks up in the first season of 2023. Let's move on to Pro Am. Mr. Pixel, let's talk about it. You want to talk about moving on up to the east side. Rick Pixel, Matt Comiskey, and Terry Driscoll all in the top 3 for the Pro Am class. Now, you had a lot of consistency here, Rick. I got to be honest.
See, here's right. So, I mean, I was looking at this earlier, and I led both race 1 and race 2 as well.
Mm-hmm.
At some point, and it was inconsistency. It was known as the Pixel Spin. We dubbed it that for a laugh and for the meme. And then the only other race I didn't lead was the one Silverstone in the wet where I come 4th again. But it see, the problem is I was casting Pro Am, and then I decided to practice, and I even got coaching. So
okay.
I just don't know what happened, because season 2, when I first started with Box 3, I was garbage.
Yeah, but it sounds to me like you've practiced, you've increased your skill, right? You've shown that you're hanging with with this level of consistency. Again, 4-4-1-4-1-1-1. You've got the consistency there. Now, moving to silver, and this is always the hard part, right? You want people to be successful. So I look at yourself again running in first for a lot of these races. Does that mean that you're going to be able to do that in silver? No, not necessarily. But do you want the challenge? Right?
Yeah, I mean, absolutely. But you got to set yourself a realistic target. I want to go top 5 in silver next season if I get bumped to silver, which I will.
Okay.
I think that Rixel. It's going to be one of those episodes. Mr. Pixel will be a great mid-pack racer for silver at least.
Bare minimum, yeah. And again, the consistency's there. Now, what about Comiskey? Comiskey, we see him every week, right? We see him every week pushing hard. We see him every week. I mean, he had 1 8th place finish, but beyond that, always in the top 5. You see the 2nd place finishes right behind Pixel. With 1 first place, one championship there in round 1. Matt seems to me like a fast driver, and again, somebody who should be bumped up.
That guy chucks the fear into me every time, because it's not just like his consistency; it's more his pit stops. Like, they are phenomenally fast.
Okay.
And that's something I'm going to be working on going into next season. But yeah, it's scary. You know he's behind you, and you know you've got a pit stop coming. You mess that up, he's gone. He jumped 2 people at Snetterton.
Oh, no kidding. Okay. See, the thing I've recognized, and again, I'm one of those. I'm the guy that sits in the background and watches everybody, right? From top down view, and I get to judge all of you as drivers, even though I can't drive. Shit, I'm slow. I'm slower than anybody on this stream right now. But one thing I've noticed about Comiskey is very, very, very clean racer. He does not get torn up in incidents. He keeps himself out of trouble, whether that's avoiding someone coming up behind him or whether that's racing close and waiting for the opportunity to make that clean pass. I do not see him getting tied up in a lot of incidents during the course of his racing. And that's where I think a lot of his consistency comes from. Obviously, he's very quick, but also just has a penchant for avoiding problems, I guess, is what I would say overall. And Driscoll, again, Driscoll podium twice, a win 1. I don't know if he's ready to move up or not. again, there's some consistency there. And much like Mr. Willie, we see an improvement from the start of the season to the end of the season. So does that mean he's ready to move up? I don't know that answer right there, but I think again, I think he did well throughout this season, and again made constant improvement throughout the whole season too.
I think you got to go to Bob as well, Bob Charlton. He's had a few
Yes.
a very sort of bad incidents, which he's very consistent, but someone tends to always sort of tap him in the bum or whatever. I remember Watkins Glen, him and Terry had the most epic battle over the course of sort of 4 or 5 laps, and then someone punted Bob off.
Doffed him and kicked him out of there. Yeah. Yep.
Yeah, and then obviously he had that unfortunate incident at Misano as well. I think Bob would have been fighting Terry for 3rd place. Like it would have been like points, like a couple of points in it.
Gotcha. Yeah, no, they're not. I mean, even the way they finished was not. There's not a ton of space between them. 234 to 217. That's not a lot of points. That's one race, right? That's one race. Somebody having a bad one versus someone having a good one. So very, again, very close there. I'm just gonna say this. Let's talk about the top 5. Your boy Blue gets dropped back to AM.
Yep, agreed.
Because of lack of consistency.
No, I'm joking.
No, I'm not joking at all. I'm not even kidding. And I hope he's watching this, or I hope he watches it afterwards. He gets dropped back to AM class due to lack of consistency. He finishes 11th in round 1. Takes first in round 2, and then after that is just a complete disappointment.
I wouldn't say that.
I would say
he got back up into the top 5. I'm proud of him for that.
Once. Well, I'm sorry, twice.
No. Overall.
Yeah, he did, but whatever. He goes back to AM class. I don't even think we should let him race anymore.
Just put him on a timeout for like one race.
100%. Let's talk about Paul Morris in 6th, the only man to run the Jaguar at Box 3 Motorsports. Not tremendous finishes here, but just the fact that he was in the Jag, I got to give the guy props for finishing in 6th, right? He did improve throughout the season, did really well. Adrian Banach, I'm supposed to say it that way because if you use the ch at the end, he gets upset. Mr. Poppin in 7th, Robert Kinney finishing in 8th. And after that, a whole bunch of DQs in the Pro-Am. So really only the top 8 finishers there, ending with Robert Kinney in P8 for Pro-Am. Let's move on to Silver. Again, we're going to talk about my favorite driver for this entire season, Delilah Hazel.
Oh, jeez.
Listen, I am a Delilah Hazel booster, and I'll tell you why. Because we watched her just slaughter people. So not so much towards the end. I would say from round 4 on, pretty consistent driving and really no problems, right? Rounds 1, 2, and 3, we watched Delilah Hazel get absolutely lambasted in T1. And then come back and kick the living hell out of everybody around her in class, including some of the pros. Right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
And again, much like Willie, the first season with Box 3, so we don't know anything about Ms. Hazel. We don't know the consistency, anything. And when you get hammered, I guess what I like about Delilah is, again, those first 3 rounds got absolutely just blasted in T1. Somebody wipes her out. And you know what? She didn't quit. So many drivers that happens to, so many sim racers, so many league participants we watch, they get blasted and then they quit. They're like, they rage quit that race, or they just give up for the whole season, right? She didn't. And I think that's what I liked about watching her race, was there was no give up there. There was no excuses. She just went back out and drove.
Yeah. So
Right.
like every time we get hit, like just doing random races and stuff, if you get taken out and stuff, you just channel your inner Hazel and just put your head, just put your head down and
there you go.
Get going.
You got to put your inner Hazel in. That's what you got to do, Willie. If you get blasted, just channel your inner Hazel. I like that. That's awesome.
I was only blasted once this entire season.
That's
Don't
perfect.
worry, more will come.
Yeah, it's coming.
Hey, don't you put that curse on me.
you put that hate on him, Ricky Bobby. So a top three, Delilah Hazel, Alejandro Aguilar, and Rob Kesar. Kesar having a great season, finishing on the podium. I think Kesar did really well. Again, someone who you can look at those results, and both 1 and 2 missed a couple races, but if you look at Kesar, you see a 6 and a 12 at the upfront, and even a 7 on round 4, but there's still an upward trend there, right? I think Rob's consistency got better throughout the seasons. Another one of my favorite drivers sitting in the background, Nikolai Tsiabuk, able to finish in 4th. And again, you see that improvement throughout the season, starting round 1 and 11th and finishing in 5 and 6 in the last 2 rounds of the season. And Ridian Lloyd Davis, who I thought was going to join us tonight, but he must have fallen asleep because it's like 1 o'clock in the morning where he is, finishing up the top 5. So let's look at this. Let's look at the silver class. Obviously, Delilah Hazel, 100%. You're going to pro. Forget about it.
Absolutely.
Don't even play. You're going to pro. You're going to play with the big boys. But what about Aguilar? He missed 2 races, so there's not as much data there to pull from to say, should he go to pro? I mean, I see the 2 first place finishes, always on the podium for the 5 races he participated in. Do those 2 missing points kind of
that was secured him first, I think. Those 2, if he finished 3rd at worst, what's that, 42 points?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
That would have been 84 points on top of what he's got, so he would have finished first.
Yep. Yeah, 100%.
Last season, whenever I raced and saw Aguilar on my little timetable, it was like, he's coming. He's coming. Yeah.
Best get out the way. He's just
I'm gonna fight that. I'm gonna fight that GTR. I like looking at it, but it looks better in my rear view.
Oh no! See, you're the opposite of me, Rodriguez. Because when I race in iRacing with Willie, I see him coming and I just go, Willie. Because we're all either we use the in-game voice chat or we're all in a VC together. I just mic myself and go, Willie, just let me get to the straight and it's yours. Okay, calm down. Just don't. I'm here for fun. Don't pressure me. But you want to fight Aguilar? All right, let's go.
He's pretty quick. If he's behind you, he's gonna make that gap go down very quickly.
Gotcha. I'm really happy for Kesar though. I really think Rob's been with us a few seasons now, and I think had some frustration in the past. I don't want to speak for him, but I just remember seeing messages in the Discord and things where I feel like he maybe had some frustration in the past, and to see him finish on podium this season in silver class, I think is great. So good job on him. To finish out the top 10, Robert Hepburn finishing in 6th. Now Schlieder in 7th. Lee Dorman disqualified. Adam Thomas going to finish in 9th, and DQs from there on down. Again, people don't stick around for a whole season, it seems. Very strange to me. Maybe we'll talk about that in a moment. Let's move up to pro class. Blaine Hall, Anthony Anderson, and Tom Foose on the podium for this season. Anderson with I think a great run. A few disappointing finishes, right? 9, 10, 9s in there. But overall, stuck with it. Carried out the season with 3 podium finishes overall. I think Anderson had a great run. Usually he's here with us, but is unable to join this evening. But Blaine Hall is a machine. That guy's hard to catch. You see the 14th place finish on round 2. Something happened, right? He got tangled up in something that set him back. But beyond that,
I remember what that was. That was at Zolder when Anderson had spun, did everything he could do, and then it just piled up, and Blaine got hit 6 or 7 times.
Well,
that's what happened.
So okay. You bring up a great point, Willie. Let's talk about season 4 with pro and silver class drivers on track at the same time. It took these guys. Till round 4 to figure out that
at least 3 or 4 races.
Yeah. It took you threatening them with having wet races for the rest of the season.
Yeah, what was the we did didn't we do Silverstone wet? Yeah. It took until Silverstone. And because Silverstone was so clean, right? Silverstone was like there were no incidents for Silverstone. Yeah. It took until then to say it, and Retro, you're right. We had to threaten them to say we ran you in the wet and y'all calmed down and didn't have incidents. We will make every race for the rest of the season wet if you don't calm down. And they did. At that point, they calmed down because we've talked about it here. The pro and silver class drivers, it's that Dunning-Kruger effect, right? They think there's this idea that they know what they're doing, that they're fast enough and they're good enough, and they can stop themselves in time. Don't worry about it. Brakes are going to work fine. I got this. And suddenly it becomes a pileup. I mean, Coda was just insane. We reviewed it on a previous show on right here at Recovery Job. T1 at Coda was absolutely ridiculous, right? But again, like you said, Retro, after Silverstone, they kind of calmed down. So maybe that's what we need to do is when people get hyper, the following week is just going to be a wet race, and that's all there is to it. And they're going to have to deal with that. But Blaine Hall, when he's out in front, is a machine, and the guy is fast, wicked fast. So did not participate at Suzuka, still able to pull it off with 241 points. Anderson taking P2, Tom Foose in 3, Nathan Edwards, Dimitri Athwal 4 and 5. We talked about John Gray earlier. There he is, John Gray in 6. Nate Lamlin going to be disqualified this season, but Andrew Haynes finishes in 8th. We got Remco Ottens missing 2 races, still finishing up 11th. Talk about Jake Wells because he's going to move up and everybody else DQ'd. So again, very difficult to get people to stick around for entire seasons, it seems. So it's a little concerning, but hopefully we can fix that going forward. Now I'm going to jump back to AM here real quick, and then we're going to talk about manufacturers. I just like going through this to see the differences between the different classes. So looking at the AM class, Aston Martin, Honda, Mercedes finishing in the top 3. Is that a surprise for any of you, given what you saw on track for this class?
I'm just happy Aston came out on top.
Perfect.
Because that's my car.
Well, you obviously contributed to that, so
I'm a little surprised with the Honda. I mean, I drove the Honda when I got into ACC, and it just hated me. But it seemed like a very hard car to drive. It was just very setup dependent. But the Austin, the Mercedes, and the Bentley just feel like good cars to start off with. So, like, it seems like the top 5 have very good cars to like start off with.
Yeah, and it's curious because we'll see here as we move forward, because we're going to go through all of the classes again with this real quick. Bentley in the top 5 of AM. I don't think we're going to see that again.
See, so the Bentley had 4 drivers. I'm honestly surprised they didn't come farther up the pack.
Well, and I was wrong because Bentley's in the top 3 of Pro-Am standings. I guess I should have worded it better. Seeing it in Pro-Am, I'm not surprised. But the reason I say I didn't think we'd see it again, because I don't remember any Bentleys in Silver and Pro. So to your point, a good car to start off with. It seems like the Bentley did very well in AM and Pro-Am. But let's take a look as we move up. And this is the only reason I bring this up, is just the comparison between the different levels of drivers. As we move this, look at Porsche taking in Silver class, Porsche taking P1 in the manufacturer's points for this season. And like, did we see any Porsches in the top 3 as we look at Silver?
I don't think so.
I'm talking about Silver. So if we go to standings for Silver, we've got Delilah, which Delilah was not in the Lamborghini. That's weird because Delilah was in the
Audi.
The Nissan and the Porsche. You know, so we got one Porsche in the top 3 with Rob Kesar, but beyond that, we have to go down pretty far to P7 to find another Porsche, right? So to see this, that Porsche is finishing in first, I mean, wow. It's
magic.
Magic. And the Nissan in P2 with McLaren in P3. There's just such a marked difference because we saw no Audis, we saw no Lamborghinis in the Pro and the Pro-Am, or I'm sorry, in the AM and the Pro-Am. And here we've got Lambos and Audis in the top 5. Let's go to Pro to see even a different. BMW, McLaren, Aston Martin, Audi makes the top 5 finally, and there is one Bentley in the top 5 that finished in Pro. Audi finishing with 4 cars, even with negative 10 and 5 points in the last 2 races, still able to place in the top 5. Again, it's just a curiosity to me where different class of drivers pick different cars, I guess, and where those perform. I know you guys all have your favorites, but you got to have some thought on this.
Well, the BMW is easier to drive. It's a more stable car around.
Okay.
The problem being in sort of maybe the faster splits. Obviously, it doesn't represent itself here in what's this Pro that you're showing now.
Yeah,
Is it-
this is pro.
Yeah, yeah. But in the slower splits, it's just a lot more stable. But the problem you got, and I'm finding this now because I'm trying to look for a new car for next season. Everything else is just like a slipping machine, and you got to be careful. Whereas the BMW, you put in
Yeah.
TCA and you can full throttle around every corner.
Okay. So you're saying I should have started with the BMW instead of the Audi, is what you're saying.
Yeah.
But I really like the Audi.
The Audi's nice. I mean, the BMW is nice too, but like you should really try the Porsche. Like that's
Ugh.
you should
I
try that.
Don't turn me into Zap.
No.
I don't want to
No.
be Zap. I
Love
love
him
Zap, but I
also.
don't want to be Zap. That's the difference, right? No, I'm an Audi guy. Everybody knows it. So, well, there we have it. That is season 4 wrapped up. Again, if we go back to those standings, just to review the top 3: Bruce Hopkins, Tristan Yonendike, Adam Willie. There he is in the AM class standings. Pro Am. Rick Pixel takes the checkered flag for the whole season. Matt Comiskey, Terry Driscoll finishing in the top 3. Silver, Delilah Hazel, Alejandro Aguilar, Rob Kesar, and jumping to pro, Blaine Hall, Anthony Anderson, and Tom Fuso. Congratulations to the 2 of you that are here that participated in season 4. And congratulations to all of the podium sitters finishing this out. Season 5, well, I don't want to call it season 5. Huff Mannix in the chat. I'm sure he is no doubt working on season 1 of 2023 coming up. But we got a lot of stuff. Let's talk for a minute about what all is coming up, because I don't see another season happening between now and the end of the year. Okay. We've got holidays in the US. We have Thanksgiving, Christmas, and New Year's are coming. There's not a lot of weeks in there. Hanukkah. There's all kinds of holidays coming up this time of year that I don't see us running another season in 2022. No doubt season 1 of 2023 is already under works. I'm sure these guys are thinking about it. I'm not one of the league managers, so I can't comment. I haven't seen the conversations. But no doubt something's coming. That doesn't mean we're done at Box 3 between now and the end of the year. There's a month and a half left to go. There's still lots of stuff to do. So I'm going to jump over first to just real quick, Trackalicious Box 3 Motorsports 949. November 19th coming up this month, the 6 hours of Donington. December 17th, we got a 6 hours of Suzuka. We just ran Suzuka. I'm sure you guys would love to run Suzuka again for 6 hours, right?
Yeah.
I mean, Willie, you missed out.
First.
Yeah, you missed out. So why don't you jump in on the 6 hours, right?
Hey, Pixel, you want to race with me?
Double your pleasure, double your fun.
No, I can't.
But both those races you're going to be able to watch over at Trackalicious Sim Racing's Twitch channel. Make sure you go check them out there. That season of the GT3 Endurance Series sequel will continue in the new year in January with the 6 hours of Kyalami and the 12 hours of Mount Panorama. I expect... No, Pixel, don't shake your head. What are you shaking your head for?
Just Mount Panorama things.
Yeah.
Can we make it rain in Panorama?
I will do everything I can to make it rain during part of that race.
It's a lovely track when it's wet.
I love that track. Those two you're going to be able to watch right here at Box 3 Motorsports. Not only that, but let's talk about it for a minute, guys. Coming up this weekend. How did I lose this? What did I do? There we go.
There it is.
Because I hit the wrong screen because I'm an idiot. It happens this late. Let's talk about this weekend. So first of all, let's talk about what's happening. 24 hours of Spa. Starting at 5 a.m. Saturday Eastern Standard Time. And running for 24 hours straight. And yes, folks are going to be able to watch the entire thing right here. And yes, it is for charity. It's to celebrate the Box 3 1-year anniversary. We're doing it to raise money for children's hospitals across the United States and Canada. Which of you 3 are participating? Retro, you're coming?
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
Pixel, no 24-hour. I know you said you couldn't commit. Let's go. I know. I get it.
I feel bad. I'll be there.
No,
I'll be there.
Don't feel bad.
I'll be watching it.
Awesome. That's what I want to hear. Just come and watch for a little while.
Root for Porsche.
Root for Porsche. Yeah, Kevin.
I'll be at work, so I'll literally have nothing better to do than watch.
Oh, yeah. What are you going to do at work besides watch the race? That's perfect.
I mean, exactly.
That's what I did for Suzuka.
Yeah, I watch races while I'm at work all the time.
See, I'm actually starting the day off at work and then coming home and then 2 hours later driving.
Perfect. Awesome. I love to hear it. So, Willie and Retro, let me ask you guys, what are the challenges? Now, we've done another 24-hour race in the past that only made it about 21 hours because of server issues. So, going into a 24, I know, Willie, I don't think you were around for that one. That was close to now 8-9 months ago. Retro, did you participate in the last one?
No, I watched it.
You watched it. Okay.
Yeah.
So what are you guys looking for as a struggle during the course of a 24-hour race?
Sleep.
Consistency.
Consistency? Okay. Willie, what did you say?
I said sleep.
Sleep. Well, sleep is, you sleep when you're dead. You'll be fine.
That's
Listen,
what I
I'm
say.
44 years old. I'm going to cover this entire race. Trust me, I'm going to be here. I understand the sleep issue because when I tell you the last one we did, listen, the last one we did, we made it 21 hours. The whole stream was about 22 by the time we were done. The server died at like, I want to say like 3 o'clock in the morning.
There's a guy that soloed.
Yeah, first of all, we got drivers that are soloing that. Yeah, we got drivers that are going to solo this stuff. I don't know if there's anyone for this one, but there were during the last one. But let me tell you something. My old ass, after 22 hours, I did not feel right until Monday. Right? Like, that's not how this works anymore. Like, yeah, there's no party for 24 hours straight and then get up and go to work. Like, yay. That's not how this works anymore. So yeah, I can understand the sleep issue.
I'm only 4 years behind you.
Well, there you go. See, but so come and watch for the whole thing, and you'll understand what I mean.
See, I'm 20 years younger than you, and I could probably do it.
20 years.
Wait, so you're 24 years old. So yeah, I don't know why you're not soloing this. You should have enough energy to drive this whole thing with perfect consistency and have no problems whatsoever.
Because I'm working Saturday morning.
You keep bringing up that age gap, you're going to find yourself getting a lot of qualifying bans.
I'd be okay with it. At least one.
That's funny. No, but okay. So Willie, you said sleep. Are you going to be sneaking it in between your stints?
I might try, but I'm also going to be trying to stream as much as possible.
Okay.
But I am going to go get an air mattress and set it up right there.
Excellent. That's a good thing. You should definitely leave your stream on while you are sleeping.
Oh yeah, no, I had planned on it.
Okay.
Point the camera at you.
Yeah, you got to point the camera at because we'll check in. Yeah, no, we'll check in on you. I will 100% check in on you during the course of this race. Let's go check in on Willie, and we will check the live sleep stream when you are not driving. That would be perfect. I would love it. So, Retro, let's talk to you for a moment. You said consistency.
Yeah.
So your stints are what, 65, 70 minutes roundabout?
I think it's 70 minutes, yeah.
Okay. So do you think you can hold that consistency around Spa for 70 minutes?
I'm not very patient.
Okay.
You shoot for a target lap time. You're trying to keep tires in. You're trying to keep temperatures in. You're trying to make sure that you don't overdo your fuel. Just make sure you have enough fuel to maximize your stint. So it's a battle between wanting to go fast and knowing that it is not a 70-minute race. Like you just want to hit all your targets. And then the rain comes and everything goes out the window and you just try not to die.
Rick, what about you? I know you're not participating, but just pretend for a minute that you are. What's your fear or concern of a 24-hour race? What are you looking to accomplish versus what are you concerned about?
Car choice would be my biggest concern. Because the McLaren can't do a full stint, can it?
So you can't pull 70 minutes out of the McLaren?
I don't think so.
Okay.
I think you're going to drop short.
Coast a whole lot.
But yeah, but over the whole course of the race, you're going to be down a couple of pit stops, probably. The Lambo's the same as well. I think the fuel tank's a bit smaller on that.
Okay.
I don't know because I've never done one. The I've done the Ukraine race.
Mm-hmm.
I can't remember how long that was.
It's been a hot minute.
3
That
hours?
one. No, that was longer now. I think we did a 12. Wasn't that one the 12?
No.
No?
No, it was shorter
What
than
are we
that.
talking about?
I can't.
The Ukraine race.
The Ukraine race
for
we did.
Ukraine.
Oh,
Been quite a while, so.
But yeah, I don't know. Pit stops are probably the biggest thing.
So what
Getting
you
that
do
right
is
driver swap.
Okay.
just pick a Porsche and then just send it.
Oh, here we go. We got Zap Jr. on the stream tonight, ladies and gentlemen, with the Porsche. That is the only viable vehicle you can drive in ACC, apparently. So everybody pick a Porsche. Porsche Cup cars around Spa for the 24 hours at Spa this weekend. Welp Cakes in the chat. What is going on, my man? So one of the things you guys will notice I put in the chat is the link to our Extra Life team to raise money. As I said, this race is for charity. I'm not going to lie to anybody. So here's a couple things that I personally on my end wanted to mention about this race. Number one, after the last one and running again 22 hours, I realized I don't feel very good afterwards. So there will be breaks in the broadcast. I will be taking breaks. There will be where the camera is put on autopilot, and I will be taking time away from the camera and from the race to go. I don't know if I'm going to lay down, but I'm certainly going to take a step away and do something to, keep myself fluent throughout the race. Number two, this is a charity race. If you're going to be streaming this race, here's what I would ask. Join our Extra Life team, right? Sign up for Extra Life, join our team, set yourself a goal, and message me, or at least link your stream to your Extra Life page. During the course of the race, I'm going to be sharing links to people who are on our team that are raising money for Extra Life so that we can push people to your stream. They can come and watch you. So that's why I said the Willie sleep cam would be perfect. This is going to be fantastic. If you're joining the Extra Life team, then I can push people in that direction. I want to, because people have to donate to a team member. And so my goal during the course of this thing, because it's for charity, because it's to celebrate our 1-year anniversary as a league, is to raise as much money as possible. So it's going to be talked about. I'm going to be talking about Extra Life. I'm going to be talking about the why we do what we do. We're gonna jump in and talk to drivers during the course of the race. So we might dive into a VC with a team that's in there and try and talk to some of those guys real quick without disturbing the driver if we can. We're going to talk to the admins of Box 3, what it means, why we did this, and everything else. So really trying to put this together in a good way that's generates more than just the race. We're having an event. We're trying to raise money for a good cause, and hopefully you all will join in that and be there for us to do that during the course of this weekend. So that's just my hard sell for this weekend in this race. So promote it, pimp it, whatever you got to do. Put it out to your friends and family. Have them come watch. I would love to have as many viewers as possible. Spread the word as far and wide as possible for all of this. So I am so happy that that you guys, and Pixel, I know you can't participate. You've got to work, you said, and I get that. Not everybody can participate by racing. Not everybody can participate by donating. Come and watch. Come and watch and share the message. If that's all you can do, if that's the extent of your ability, because there's again, real life interferes. This is sim racing. I would ask people to do that and come and have a good time, because we're gonna have a blast for 24 hours straight. It's gonna be awesome. And for Retro and Willie, well, good luck. That's all I'm gonna say. It's Spa.
You'll need it. Everybody trying to win on turn one.
That's what it's
as long as it's full wet or full rain during my stints, we're good.
Yeah, I will agree with you, because people were griping about the server, right? They were griping, saying it's going in and out. It's always like for half an hour it rains and then for half an hour it's dry and blah blah blah. I will agree with you, because I did a Spa endurance race at one point when I was on Xbox for 2 hours. And my man Chief Blaze will agree with me. The one thing we hated was the fact that it went from dry to wet to dry within that 2 hours, right? Like if you're going to rain, just rain during my stint. It's fine. Just rain. I'll put on the wet tires. I'll go drive. But going from dry to wet to dry, that's brutal, man. Because when do I change my tires? Is it going to rain again? I don't know if it's going to rain again. If it's going to rain again, I should probably leave those tires on, but I don't know if it's going to rain again. The weather doesn't say it's going to rain again, so I should probably go change those tires. So I'm going back into the pits, but it's Spa, so it's 92 second pit stop, with a tire, 92 seconds to get all the way through with a tire change. What do? I don't know what to do. My team's going to get mad at me. I'm confused. But you know what? I hope it rains again because I'm just leave the wets on, and they're going to get really baked, and it's going to be insane.
You just don't want to hire somebody from the Ferrari F1 strategy team. As long as you don't do that, you're good.
Confirmed. Now,
question.
It's almost as if you haven't got a 30-minute weather thing on your screen.
Oh,
you do, but you do, but I think that's the problem, right? Is you get, I don't know. It's so hard to choose the right time to come into the pits again. You just came in with the wets on, and especially at Spa, because of that 92 average time, 92 second average time pits, right?
Yeah.
Like that's a long time.
So if you get like something like medium rain in 30, like what do? Do you pit expecting heavy rain or sustained rain afterwards, or is it going to go to lighter rain and then just cut out?
Well, you'd keep an eye on it, wouldn't you? Because I mean, that weather thing's 100% accurate.
Yeah,
it is 100, and you'll see it. It will say rain, and then sometimes you'll see it 5 minutes later have no rain. All that means is it's a 5-minute shower in 25 minutes.
Yeah, but if you're having a fight, are you going to be looking at your weather app every time?
No, I'll just get
have one of your teammates do it.
So yeah, number one, Willie makes a good point. Your teammates are there, right? That's number one. Number two, let me ask you guys this question. So to Rick's point, you're in your stint. Let's say you started your stint 15 minutes ago. You've got, say, 45 to 50 minutes left to go. Your co-drivers or you yourself are able to see the weather, and you see rain pops up and then rain goes away. Are you going in if there's rain for a 5-minute period? Are you going into the pits?
No.
And again, especially at a track like Spa, because at Spa it can rain on part of the track, but not the other part of the track. Right? We've seen it in real life, and I think we've seen it in game. So that kind of thing can happen. Are you staying out on those dry tires and going to suck up the wet and see how you do? We know how the puddles can be at Spa, right? Like,
just hope you don't die in the meantime.
Just try and hold on, right?
I have a notepad with where all the puddles are coming up on Spa every time.
No, but I think it's important to have that conversation because there will be weather. I really think there's going to be weather during this race. I do.
Oh yeah,
I do. I think
not during my stints. We'll be.
I think the variability has been turned down to try and not make it ridiculous, right? We don't want stupid 30 minutes on, 30 minutes off, 30 minutes on, 30 minutes off. Nobody wants that. It's not realistic. But it's Belgium. It's the summer time, kind of. I think there's going to be weather during this race. So it'll be curious to see how the teams contend with that. I know you guys, when I go into team chats and I see that not just in the VCs, but I'm talking about team channels, especially when we're running the Box3 esports team, like there's a lot of notes there, right? Set your pressures, do this, do that. Like these guys work together. These teams work together to be as competitive as possible. And it's going to be really curious to see what happens that nighttime falls, right? Because the race time is start time, I believe, is 5 p.m. Local for, in game. Nighttime is going to come quick. And then all of a sudden, 6 hours into the race, the rain starts. So we've got cool temperatures. Rain starts to fall. How long is it going to last? Is it going to go for the rest of the race? It's going to go for an hour. Is it going to go for 5 minutes? I think that's going to play a lot into this, and it'll be very curious to see. And that's why one of the things I love is I love that we have, in this event, we have esports drivers that are participating, right? And then we have a lot of AM teams, a lot of teams we've seen in the past with our bigger endurance events that don't necessarily participate in our regular seasons. I think this is going to be fantastic. And I really think it is any team's race. Over the course of 24 hours, anything can happen. Anything can happen. Those esports drivers who are wicked fast, one of them could decide to just throw it out in Eau Rouge, and it's all over but the screaming because they can't move. They got to teleport back to pits. They're sitting for 2 minutes. Then they come back out, and all of a sudden, there's some pro class but not esports team leading this race and are able to hold on because the next super fast alien drivers are literally 4 minutes behind.
All it takes is a disconnect.
That too. So this is going to be a blast. Please, everyone who's watching right now, come around for it this weekend. It's going to be absolutely fantastic. My man Whelpcake's in the chat is going to be around. I think I'm hoping. Well, Phil, I hope you're going to join me from time to time. I know you can't for the whole time, but I'm hoping somebody like yourself will join me because you are such a fantastic personality. We will have pit wall live timings throughout the entirety of this race. We're going to be able to go and take a look at all of this stuff, and you're going to be able to see your favorite drivers' average times and lap times and gaps and everything else. So pit wall will be available for the course of the race. Yeah, it's going to be a lot of fun. It's going to be a lot of fun, and I can't wait to participate. So let's finish this out now. Willie, you said you're going to be streaming this race, right? We're going to get the Adam Willie sleep cam.
It's possible.
That would be fantastic.
And that's if I try and take a nap.
It's got to be hard. I mean, the stints are 70 minutes. How many drivers on your team?
We have 5.
Okay, so you're
5.
well stacked. So you got 5 drivers. So 70 minutes. Let's just call it an hour to make it even. You only have to drive once every 5 hours. But you know, team
Not
members.
how we have it.
Well, exactly, but also, and again, how your rotation works is up to the individual team. So let's just pretend you only have to drive once every 5 hours. The other part of that is you might need to spend an hour or 2 being a spotter for your teammate, right? So it's not like you can drive for an hour and then go sleep for 4. That's not how this works, right?
Blue did say that he was going to stay up the entire 24 hours. So
It's
we
because
got that
Blue's
covered.
a psycho that plays hockey and can't be consistent in races. I can't believe you're on a team
That
with
too.
him. Because you're gonna go out and drive. Listen, you are gonna go out and you're gonna drive fantastic. You're gonna be the Adam Willie iRacing driver I know, super consistent, wicked speedy. I get all the way out, I get all the way in, and then Blue's gonna take over the car and bash it into radio.
You want to know the funny thing?
What's that?
Most of my stints, he is taking over the car, or I am taking over for him.
Perfect. That is fantastic to me. I will commentate Curse Blue every day of the week.
No, don't you do it.
Adam Willie into the pits, and here comes out is your boy Blue, and I guarantee he throws it into Lacombe for some reason. He'll just come off the Camel straight and decide to keep going straight because it's Blue. 100%. He'll do it.
Oh, I know he will. And now it's kind of scaring me.
I love that you're concerned.
I'm going to watch just for that.
Exactly.
Just leave me out of it whenever you're.
I really hope he
Stay
doesn't
away-
do that when I'm
Stay away from
sleeping.
retro. Let's leave retro out of it.
Yeah.
No, I love Blue. I just like picking on him. All right, guys. Well, before we wrap this up, do any of you have anything you want to share going into this 24-hour race, or anything else for that matter?
Yeah, where's our sim roast and review?
Oh, I said we're not doing that
Oh,
this week.
we're not.
Oh, I didn't hear that. Boo.
Boo, I
Okay.
know.
Reading is hard.
Tomato bot what the hell? Tomato bot in chat asks, "Who's Blue?" Blue is the Box 3 whipping boy. Not for everybody, just basically for me because he bothers me for no reason other than it's Blue. That's it. That's all. Literally all it comes down to. So just blame. Yep, there you go. Retro said it in the chat. Just blame Blue. Whatever's going on in your life, and you're like, man, this sucks. Just say, you know what, your boy Blue, you suck. And that's just my opinion. Poor Pixel sitting here going, why did I ever join this show?
Yeah, I just thought that's a little bit harsh, isn't it? He's not too bad.
No,
He's kind of he's scary to pass when he's a blue flag. Put it that way. I'm too scared to pass him.
Oh, I just screwed everything up and
Oh,
broke
look
it.
at
No.
that. Look at that. Why
I
are you
broke
sending pictures
everything.
to Adam?
Because he
Kinda
wanted
weird.
it for a livery. And you should
Yeah,
see
did you
the
know-
livery. It is pure insanity.
Okay, now I need to see this livery.
Well, I can't do that
It's in
without
the-
breaking
it's in the-
everything. It's in the
I got
endurance
you.
liveries. It's in the endurance
Yeah.
liveries. That transition,
Just-
Whelpcake says, yeah, I clicked the wrong button at the wrong time because I'm an idiot because Willie is messaging me in the middle of a show.
You didn't have to open it.
I know I
It
didn't
was-
have to open it, but I thought maybe it was important. I didn't even get a chance to read it because I saw what happened. And the minute I clicked it, I realized what I did and went, shit. That's what happened.
No, and I was about to say, you know, I messaged you my plug for my Twitch channel.
Oh, well, I can't go get it right now, though.
Well,
See,
yeah, I know.
Tomatobot in the chat says, blame Blue. There you go. This was Blue. This was your boy Blue's fault. He did this. He did this. And I don't appreciate it.
It's gonna be a fun race. I'm definitely looking forward to the 24.
Awesome. I cannot wait for this 24. It is going to be fantastic. We will be kicking it off 5 a.m. Eastern Standard Time this weekend, this Saturday. It's going to roll for at least 25 hours by the time we're done with, free practice and qualification and then into the race. This will be a 25-hour stream. My hope is I can remember to hit the M button every hour to record the replays for this race. I'm going to do my best so we have them available as a league. But end of the day, thank you 3 gentlemen for joining me tonight. I appreciate it, and we had a great conversation. And let's roll into this 24 hours and get ready for the end of the year. It's 100%. Can't wait. Thank you, gents. You guys are much appreciated.
Thank you.
And
I
everybody have yourself a great week. For myself, Mr. Adam Willie, Rick Pixel, and Mr. Rodriguez, Retro Coffin, the man, the myth, the legend. You guys have yourselves a great week. Finish out your week with tomorrow on Friday, and then get ready for the 24 hours of Spa this weekend. Thank you, folks. We'll talk to you soon.